very clean washed hands and nicely dried. Oh, so washed, so washed. So, somebody asked me to, or a couple of people asked me to do a wee recipe for making tattie scones. So yeah, I'll do that. And it's something I don't make very often, so I had to refresh my memory about this with a recipe. And there's lots of different ways of making it. But clearly it's tatties, so if you've got any tatties, mash them. And leftover ones are best, are great. You know, it's what a great, just make a few more than you would normally need. And then get to work. So we had mince and tatties last night, and this is what's left over. Now it's a bit cold, so that's not ideal for mixing it up because it's been in the fridge. So I'm just going to zhuzh it up a little bit. I'm going to pop it on here and just very, very slightly add a little bit of milk just to soften up the tatties so that they're ready to go. Because if it's too cold, it will be too difficult to manipulate. So they've just been warming up and softening slightly for a few moments, and I'll just check that. Yeah, they're still cool, but getting there. That's nice. They're nice and they're quite soft now. A couple of minutes ago they were as hard as anything and impossible to work with. So that will do. I'll turn that off, and now we'll take them out here. So now we've got to find out how much we've got. So scales are set. Let's find out what we've got in the way of tatties. So there we go. Quite a lot. I did make rather too many tatties last night, I think, if there is such a thing. Oh, look at them. Nice mash. So that is about it. Okay, so pop that in there. So we've got 1 pound. I just licked my thumb, so I'll go and wash that in a minute. 1 pound or 600 grams, or 1 pound 6 ounces, something like that. So what you want is a ratio of 1 part flour to 4 parts potato, basically. So if you were using a pound of potatoes, you'd use 4 ounces of flour. So we are using 1 pound 6 ounces of potato. Kate, show what's the answer? How much flour do we need? So a little bit more than 1/4 pound. So I would say about 6 ounces of flour will do for that, more or less. So I'll put that in there. There goes the mash, and we'll add in.
You said you'd wash your hands.
Oh yes, I did say I'd wash my hands. Well spotted, that person. Specifically my thumb. Ah, too hot. There we go. My poor hands. Right, there we go. So we put in about, there we go, that's about 6 ounces of flour. 4 sixes of 24. So that's what, yeah, that's 1 pound. 24 is 1 pound 8 ounces. So actually that was slightly too much, so I'll put a little bit less than that. So right, okay, good. Some recipes call for egg for binding. I don't think you need that particularly. And anyway, there may be a little bit of a shortage of eggs just at the moment. You will want a little bit of a pinch of salt. What's a pinch? I don't know. That amount, maybe decent amount. Okay. Some recipes also call for a little bit of baking powder. Not necessary particularly, but it's not a bad idea. It gives them a little bit of raise. It's just ordinary flour. Yeah, just maybe half a teaspoonful of baking powder will make them a little less dense. And then, so I'll just sieve that into here. More to mix the baking powder and the salt into the mix. And I'll maybe stop just slightly before the end so that I'm not getting any more flour in there that is strictly necessary. And then I'm going to mix it in together. Okay, so there we go. Flour and tatties. So I'm going to mix these all together for a couple of minutes, which is the boring bit. So we'll come back shortly. So I've been doing this for a little while, and then really there's no alternative but to get in about it with your fingers. So that really mixes it all in together and actually feels amazing. Oh, look at that. Good dough. It is a kind of dough. So there's flour on the bottom there, but oh, can you feel the squishiness of that? Oh man, something really primal about getting it in there and squeezing mashed potatoes. I like it. Okay, so there we go. Oh, a little bit more out there still on the outside. So I'm just getting it all nicely mixed in. Something a little bit of unmashed potato under my finger here. Feel that? Just give that a wee squeeze. There we go. Nicely done. Bit that the masher didn't get to. So there we go. Nicely, beautifully squeezed potatoes. So I'm just going to put that there for a moment. So you want to then put this out onto a lightly floured surface. Ah, there we are. There's my. Oh, there's a bit of dampness there. Hold on. Must have got some water in that from my hands. So I found my flour shaker. Yippee. That's a lightly floured surface. So I'm going to take maybe about half of this amount out at the moment and put it onto this surface, because it's not a massive surface this, but then I'm just going to press it out. It doesn't take too long. So this wants to be about maybe a quarter inch thick. Is that about a quarter of an inch? Maybe slightly thinner than that. And then it's up to you really what size or shape you want your scones to be. So perfect thing, a cake tin. If you've got a cake tin or something like that, or a big bowl, that's a good size. Ooh, that's a good sound. Good size and shape. Just gather up the bits round about it that you haven't got a use for it just at the moment. We can back in there. Up you come. And then like that. Okay, steady. And like that. So now while we wait, just lightly flour that so it doesn't stick to them. Stick to the base. I'm just going to get a little slice here. Place them there, ready to be cooked. Well, they sit on there. I'm going to do another lot. So similar idea. Spread that out. Again, there's probably about half and half. That's all right. That's a decent amount. So there we go. Roll it into a kind of a ball, and then press it out. This one's probably slightly less amount than the first lot, which is actually no bad thing. You could probably do it by eye and just cut it into 4 nicely. Speck of something or other there. That's good. Yeah, that just comes out a little bit more. Do you know what? That's probably about exactly the same size and shape as before. Not bad, not bad. And again, same idea. Down the middle, and across thusly. I know that's not a word. And a little bit more of that one there. Oh, there we go. Okay. And finally, with this one, well, you get the idea. It's the same amount. Now, the thing with tattie scones, you can do anything you like with them. Some people like to put other ingredients in here. You could put some grated cheese, you could put some chopped onions, you could put some ham in them as well. What you don't want to put is a piece of breadboard. So that's all good. Yeah, so anything to give them a nice savoury twist, but I'm going to keep these simple and all the other additions come in later. Now you'll notice in here, if you come in and have a look, there's a couple of wee bits that didn't quite make it through the masher. They're just little, slightly harder bits of potato in there. Nothing wrong with them, but they're just not completely mashed, so we'll just reject them for the moment. And again, it doesn't matter because we're going to cook them anyway, so it will be all perfect. Now these are, again, a little bit rough, but I think I'm going to do something slightly different with this as well, because you can have fun potato scones. Loving potato scones like that. Look, you can use any shape you want. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, I'll just do that one there. Take the rim off it there and do its other side here. Okay, and will we get another one out of that? Here we are. So, we have 3 love heart potato scones. I'll just get them out. Whoops. Peel that away from the sides. And that there too. Okay. So. Perfect. And then we're left with just a little bit. So this can be our final tattie scone. And this can be any shape you want, as long as it's round. How's that? So, I'll just put that there. Right, so, just put this stuff to one side. We'll come back to it. Come in. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to cook them. You can bake them in the oven. People do that, it's perfectly nice. I'm going to use the stovetop method, and for that I'm going to cook them on this griddle. Now, this is a very traditional griddle. This was given to us as a wedding present 25 years ago this year. Yes, folks, September the 16th will be our silver wedding. I don't think we're going to be having a big party the way things are looking, but maybe when this is all settled, we'll do something nice. But this fantastic traditional griddle, or girdle, as people say, but you can use a frying pan. It's perfectly good to use that. Turn that down a little bit, nice and low. Pop that on the top. Now I'm going to have this standing by, just a little tin, so I'll put it there. I'm going to turn this oven on quite low, so that when they're cooked, they can just sit in there and not get too cold. Okay, so here is the griddle. It's warming up. It takes a few minutes. It's cast iron, so it'll take a little bit of time. I'm going to put some butter on this. Old tip. This is what my mum used to do. Keep a butter wrapper and use it to butter your girdle. Well, there you go. Not something you do every day, but or put a wee bit of butter down on there, and use this because it's actually pretty good. It's got good heat insulating properties, and it's good for getting the the butter spread out all over the surface of the griddle. There you go. That's done now. That's a little too hot. I'm going to, well, maybe not. So these want to cook till they're brown on one, or brownish or light golden brown on one side. So let's take our last one out first. Is that heat coming through enough? No, maybe not quite. It's a little cool now. So we'll use this one first. It was the last one out. It wasn't. It was the most irregular one, but we'll see how it goes. So getting up to temperature, pretty good. And not quite hot enough, I would say, because I would have expected a little bit of a sizzle there, but don't worry about it. We'll leave it there for a moment or two. Am I hearing anything? Yeah, I hear a little bit of a sizzle. I'll turn it up a little bit more. So these cast iron things take a little while to warm up, but once they do, they're fantastic. So you can see the smoke rising here. I'll just turn that down a little bit. Let's see how we're doing. It's been a couple of minutes. Oh, that's not bad. That looks a bit like a tattie scone. A little bit high there, temperature wise. I'll just move that around and soak up the butter. Because I've only got one scone on this, a lot of the surface is exposed, so it's just actually the butter smoking, which is very annoying. So when the smoke alarm goes off in a couple of minutes, anyway, the doors and windows are open, so it won't be too bad. That may not happen. So that's just got a little bit too hot, so I'll just turn the griddle down again. It might even just lift it off there for a second or two. That's definitely still quite... The cast iron retains the heat really well. So the other thing you can do is press it down a little bit to make sure that the cooking surfaces are evenly done. So again, just flip that over. Yeah, that looks not too bad. It's not too blackened on that side. So what I'm going to do here, yeah, I'm going to pop it in this, and I'm going to take that pan. It's cool at the moment, or it's not too bad. I'll pop it in the oven. It's just a low oven. It's just about 80 to 100, and that will then keep that warm while we do the next stage. So I'm going to pop on the butter there now. You can see how that's a little bit more butter actually. That's sizzling like crazy, and while it does that, I'm going to move it around here before it burns in too much of the same place. So I'm now going to put on the 4 initial tattie scones that I did, the ones that were the most uniform, I think. There we go. Okay, so there we are, cooking nicely on the griddle. We use this griddle for, I say we, Lee uses this griddle to make amazing pancakes quite regularly. It's perfect for that. You can make your traditional Scotch pancakes on it perfectly, or she does, because Kate prefers, the, thank you, crepes. Crepes are not pancakes. But perfect for tattie scones, as you can see. But as I say, any half decent frying pan will do the trick as well. But this is absolutely perfect for it. Now that seems to have gone a little low. Again, I'll just maybe put that on for another minute, because I've been chatting for about a minute. I'll put a little timer on there for a minute, and then I'll turn them over without disturbing them for a bit, so they do a nice even. Okay, so the beeper's gone off. Let's turn these over and see. Oh, look at that! There we go. That's what they should look like if you don't foof about with them too much. Oops, turn that round. Look at that. A nice even cook on top. I'll get them back on there, and I'll put that back on for a couple of minutes, and come back then and see how they're doing. Okay, so the beepers are gone. Turn that off. Let's check over here. Yep, now that's pretty good. These, you can see, I don't know if you can come in there, they're quite thick. Now that's partly what I've done with the tatties and the flour, but it's also because I put a bit of baking powder in there. Now, I quite like them like that, because they're nice and yielding, but you might want to have them thinner yourself. But oops, there we go. I'll just turn that into there. Check that that's okay. Yeah, they're all fine. they're all fine. So again, I'll just do the rest of them. I'll pop that back in the oven so that these keep warm. And while I do that, I'm just going to turn on the grill because these are going to be served now with a nice bit of bacon. So I've done two or three batches here. What you might want to do is also take that off the heat for a second. You can see it's smoking around the sides here. So that is old butter, which, yeah, you see how brown it is. That's been baked or cooked quite a lot. Just be very careful as you do this, not to burn your fingers, but a decent Gouda kitchen roll. Take that butter off there because that will smoke up and it will also make your tattie scones a little bit blackened. Which, you know, you want them cooked, but you don't want them carbonised. So, and start again with fresh butter. There we go. And the same idea. Spread it around, and we're all ready to go for now what will be the final lot. Now I'm just going to put these on like that. They've settled a wee bit. I say these are a little bit thicker than some of you might prefer, but I quite like them like this. You can have them thick or thin. I'll put that on for 2 minutes here. While that's going on, I've got the grill warmed up and going to cook some bacon to go with them. Ayrshire Middle, Scotland's finest. A couple of slices of that to go with these. Not for the vegetarians, but pretty damn fine. Just turn these ones over. These are my irregular, oops, I'll turn that off, that's annoying. Irregular hand-shaped tattie scones. I think they look lovely. I'll put that back on for another couple of minutes. Yeah, they've got a nice quality to them. Hopefully nice and tasty. That's all done. I'll just take the bacon out from there. This has come off the heat now. I'm just going to give it a little wipe with that and put it over there. It's a fantastic thing. I'll wash it down later. If I didn't say so earlier, this was a wedding present 25 years ago from our local wonderful mistress of hardware, Olive Brown, from Brown's of Tobermory, one of the great shops, still going strong, and much used and much loved. Not Olive, well, yes, but the griddle particularly. So, bacon's done, tattie scones are out the oven. I'm just going to put them on the plate so that they look nice. So, fingers, oh look at them. So, not bad. I'll put a few more of the, oh that's the love heart ones. Oh look, I'll put them on the top there. That's the nice ones. A little bit hot. There you are. Perfect. Perfect. I'll take these off the bottom because that will be hot. There's my kind of false start one. I'll just leave that in there just now. And there's the love hearts on top. The bacon. I think this is the kind of meal that would be nicely served on a nice blue and white plate. A couple of slices of bacon. Okay. Over we go. Onto the table. Summon the troops. I think that's it really. And you can adulterate these with anything you want. Butter, Marmite, have them sweet, have them with bacon. I think my daughter intends to have bacon and possibly tomato sauce. Or maple syrup. Whatever, maple syrup. That's the way to go. Right, hope you enjoyed that. I'll do something else later.